Zel Boy Army, welcome to another spicy video on the channel today. In today's video, we are looking at the best 5 formations in the game right now. And when I'm talking about this, I'm not saying that other formations aren't viable and you can't make them work. I'm just saying in terms of overall balance for the average player to use, whether they use a team as good as this or a team like my Road to Glory that's a lot worse, that they're consistent and they're good at all parts of the game. I'll go through the formations and explain why I'm picking them in this position. What I would say about formations is that the key to formations is how you, one, use the tactics and instructions, which is kind of obvious, but you want formations that basically allow your team to defend and attack in certain pads. That is the key in formations. When I talk about formations, I'm talking about formations that allow you to play in a certain way. So in the 4-4-2, you might have seen my tactics video the other day. I say it's so good because the left mid and right mid offer width. They pull mid out wide, and then it opens up space for the 2 centre mids and the strikers in the middle. That's what makes it so good going forward. Then in defence, it's so good because you've got 2 banks of 4. Any formation strength is, and it's what it's going to live and die by, is the patterns it allows you to have in attack, and then the defensive stability shape you have when you're defending. Obviously, these can be altered, and some formations can become very much like others with certain instructions. But there's just certain strengths and weaknesses some formations are always going to have that'll suit different FIFAs. So, we're going to throw a bonus formation in there to start. Let me just do like a copy of this so I don't... Actually, I don't. It's alright, I don't actually need to change the formation. I'm using the 4-4-2, so you can probably guess what I'm going to say the number 1 formation is. But a bonus formation that I'm not necessarily saying is the best, like one of the best in general, but I think is a constant pressure tactic and very good attacking, arguably best attacking formation, is the 4-2-4. The obvious limitations with this one are going to be it is a bit limited defensively, it's a bit too gung-ho, so to speak. So this isn't in the top 5, it's just a bonus formation almost. And obviously certain formations are going to have different strengths. When you play goal-out attack, you're going to use different formations to all-out defense or in general. This video is dedicated to 5 formations, like balanced ones that you can use throughout the whole game. But the 4-2-4, we're throwing it out there as a big one. So, number 5 on this list is going to be... What have I got? 4? We're going to have the 4-2-2. The 4-2-2... Sorry, I just lost my train of thought there. The 4-2-2 is one that is very good in the sense of it's the best of both worlds. Well, not best of both worlds. It's a mix, sorry, a hybrid like the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-3-1. So you get the 2 strikers. You don't get the left mid and right mid that do so much on FIFA. They just pull mid out. Like the Lam and Ram in this formation just don't do what the left mid and right mid do in the 4-4-2, and they don't defend as well, which is why it's below the 4-4-2 for me. And you don't get the cam that the 4-2-3-1 has to link up the play and operate there. Very good formation though, and there's not a lot in these 5 formations. There probably isn't that much between them all, especially if you tweak them. And when I do tactics videos, I always say to people, don't just copy these tactics and not even consider changing them. Change them to suit your team and how you want to play would be my advice. But the 4-2-2, a very good one. For the 4th one, we are going for the 4-3-1-2. Where is it? Actually, no, we're not going to put that one there. We're going to put the 3-5-2 as the 4th. The 3-5-2 is a fantastic formation, but I'm lowering it a bit. Simply put, going forward, it's up there for best defensive formation, not defensive, offensive formation in the game. It's got the what I call the Holy Trinity triangle up front of a 2 strikers and a cam, left mid and a right mid. The CDMs are great for linking up the play. It's fantastic going forward. But on this game, where through balls are so damn strong, where you can just spam through balls down the line, or the centre-backs can quite often pull out to mark down the line, you end up getting your centre-back isolated in the middle. It's very hard to defend in this formation. I really enjoy it, and over the last few years of FIFA, it's been my favourite formation to actually play with, but the problem I've got with it is it's just not that consistent. This camera, I can't get it to stay in place. Oh, that's better. I can't get the 3-5-2 though to be as strong defensively and balanced as some other formations. It's my favourite in terms of fun, and I'll always recommend it as a great attacking one. but it's just not as balanced as some of the others. Number 3, we're going for the 4-3-1-2. You could use the narrow diamond, depends what you prefer. I think the 4-3-1-2 does work better, where you've got the centre mid in the middle. You can still put him on stay back, but he just links the midfield a bit better. This one is not quite as balanced as number 2 and 1. Simply put, the fullbacks in this have to attack to get width. So it's great going forward, and it's probably better going forward, in my opinion, than the first and second formation. And it's very good at pressing. It's just a bit too risky defensively. Like, if I was going through these formations, maybe this is something I could do in future ones, where I would like rate formations based on attack, defense, pressing, possession, all these, give them a rate out of 10. Maybe that'd be a cool way of doing it. But for this, it's defensive and possession is quite a bit lower potential than the first two, which puts it into third spot. But it's a very good one. And if you enjoy tiki-taka, quick, high press, attacking, energetic FIFA, this formation's for you. And it's one I've used a lot this year, do really enjoy. Number 2, it's a bit of a boring one in my opinion. I really don't enjoy using it, but it's just so effective. The 4-2-3-1. In my opinion, it is one of the top formations every year, and it always will be on FIFA until something drastically changes. Because of its shape, its balance. The possession's so good in this formation. You've got players covering all areas of the pitch. On this FIFA, where finesse shots, whilst series going off on one, whilst finesse shots are not as good as they were at the start of the game, they're still very good. And the Lam and Ram, Cam, Striker, they all occupy different spots where they can get finesse shots. They're going to be very useful in this formation. It's very easy to keep the ball in this. The reason it's not first, in my opinion, is because the lack of 2 strikers. The lack of 2 strikers in this formation do hinder it a little bit, breaking people down. But in terms of getting men behind the ball, when you put everyone and come back on defense, defending, it's fantastic. It's very hard to get the ball off of people in this who are good at keeping the ball. It's not a formation I like, but I can't do one of these videos and not recommend it. If someone tells you this formation isn't a good one on FIFA, they don't really know what they're on about. Number 1 for me is going to be the 4-4-2. I'm to and froing over which one I want to use, whether it be the 4-4-2 or the 4-4-2 second. At the moment, I have 2 4-4-2 set up. You can see it here. We've got the second one, which is the one with CDMs, which is a more balanced, conservative formation tactic, and the 4-4-2 just with the centre mids, which is the more aggressive press after possession loss tactic. If you want to see more in depth about that, the reason I think it's the number 1 formation, we showed in-game examples of it. Check out my YouTube video I did a couple of days ago. But the 4-4-2, it has everything. Balance, great at pressing, good at keeping the ball because you cover every area of the pitch. Great going forward because you've got 2 strikers, left mid, right mid, pulling men out of position. 2 banks of 4 to be good at defending. There isn't really a weakness in this formation. The closest thing I could give to a weakness in this formation is that occasionally the left mid and right mid don't tuck in enough, but I lower the width and get them. I try and pull them in quite a bit. And then the centre mid to strikers, there can be a bit of a gap. But what I would say about that is that the centre mid strikers, because driven passes are so good on this game, it doesn't matter as much. On this game, the centre mid can get the ball to the striker so easy because driven passes are just so good. Driven passes, especially when you have good passers. Haaland, by the way, at centre mid, ridiculous card. His passing's the best I've ever seen on a FIFA, I think. When you have such good passers, which is why I'd recommend players in midfield who can pass, the driven pass just gets the strikers very easy. That gap between the strikers and centre mid doesn't matter. So the closest thing there is to a weakness on this game for the 4-4-2, I don't think it's actually that big an issue because on this game it doesn't really matter. So that's why the 4-4-2 is number 1. So we had the 4-2-4 as a bonus formation, especially maybe as an all-out attack. We had the 4-2-2 as number 5, 3-5-2 number 4, 4-3-1-2 as number 3, 4-2-3-1 number 2, and the 4-4-2, my favourite, best formation this year, as number 1. Appreciate you guys watching. As always, keep it spicy, and I'll see you in the next one.